You're listening to The Van Daniel Show, the show that brings you a sometimes explicit, most controversial opinion of a guy you've never heard of about anything and everything. Here's your host, Van Daniel.
Trump acquitted, Trump acquitted. Good gosh almighty, Trump is acquitted. My take on it coming up next. Thanks for joining us this week. If you like what you hear, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And follow me on Facebook and Twitter at RealVanDaniel. Or visit the website at www.thevandanielshow.com, all of which is linked below. Also, if you have a suggestion or topic you want to hear on my show, let me know. If I pick one of your ideas, I'll even give you credit on my show. Lastly, if you're a small business owner and you want some free advertisement, hit me up on one of those channels I talked about earlier. I'll pick one business every week to promote free on my plug of the week. All right, welcome to the show. I hope you're as excited as I am. Today is acquittal day, right? President Trump was finally acquitted of the bullshit charges that were brought against him. So I wanted to address it. I wanted to talk to you about it. I want you to know how I feel about it, and I wanted you to know and break down exactly what I think in the information that I gathered. So when this whole thing started, I absolutely wanted to wait. I didn't want to overreact. I didn't want to freak out, cuss people out. I wanted to get the full facts of what everything was going on before I made a decision on how I felt about it. Now that it's all out, now that it's all over, I feel like I can do that with an educated, with an educated thought process, right? So what I did is I had a few questions. I want to know why he was being acquitted, what evidence they had against him, and all those things. So what I did is I pulled up the article. I have it right here, the articles of impeachment. I have the actual documents right here, and I'm going to read those documents, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it in each of them, okay? Okay. So Article 1, President Trump, acting both directly and through his agents within and outside the United States government, corruptly solicited the government of Ukraine to publicly announce investigations into a political opponent, former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. Okay, I want to address that right now. Why did he want them to be investigated? And if he did, what was relevancy? So I'm all about it. If the former vice president is involved with Ukraine in a negative way, that is a national security issue, and it should be investigated. I don't see the problem with it. I don't see the problem. No, the fact that he's running for president has nothing to do with the fact that he may have done something wrong. And if he did do something wrong, shouldn't we know before we have this guy run for president? I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand why this is a big deal. I don't understand why this became an impeachable offense for the president to look into a national security problem, potential problem. Which throughout the news to this whole thing, we figured out that it probably is a problem. His son worked for Ukraine, made millions of dollars while he was while he's the vice president, and even now, that's a problem. That's an issue, especially if we're having problems with Ukraine now, and with this election. Weird, right? Don't see a problem with that. Okay, moving on. B, a discredited theory promoted by Russia alleging that Ukraine, rather than Russia, interfered with the 2016 United States presidential election. Okay, we've been through a 3-year investigation on this Russia thing. We've found absolutely nothing linking President Trump to Russia. Nothing. No wrongdoing whatsoever. I don't even know why this is in here. This is them just trying to stack things on top to sway the vote, to sway people's opinion on falsities, in my opinion. because there's no proof other than against Trump helping Hillary and her Clinton Foundation, all the millions of dollars that Russia's given her during her campaign. That's the only wrongdoing that could be there. President Trump had no wrongdoing with Russia. And of course, Russia is going to pass it off to Ukraine. But either way, if Russia does pass it off to Ukraine, isn't it our job to investigate it if it's an issue? If it's a 3-year investigation, shouldn't we close this out and take us to where all the leads take us and investigate everything? No. If it leads away from Trump, if it leads away from the president, we're going to go ahead and leave that alone, right? That's how they, at least that's their thought process because of the big bad orange-haired man, right? All right, let's move on. The release of $391 million of the United States taxpayer funds that Congress had appropriated, on a bipartisan basis for the purpose of providing vital military and security assistance to Ukraine to oppose Russia aggression, and which the President Trump had ordered suspended. So here's the deal. If Ukraine is suspected in interfering with our election, why wouldn't we withhold their funds, their aid, until they get to the bottom of it? That's not a crime. That's good business. Why would I give you almost $400 million if you are trying to sabotage this country? I don't understand. There's no problem there. What that is that's good precedency. That's him trying to get to the bottom of all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, like I said before, they don't want you to get to the bottom of it. They want you to look at President Trump and say, he did it, nobody else. And if you don't believe that, you stop investigating. Because if it doesn't lead to him, it doesn't matter. And that's fucking wrong. I want to get to the bottom of it. I want the truth. I don't care where it leads. If it leads to Hillary, it leads to Hillary. If it leads to Biden, which it probably does, an Obama administration, then that's where it leads. But if it leads nowhere, it leads nowhere. But we don't know because they don't want to find out where it leads, because if it doesn't lead to President Trump, they don't want to hear about it. 3, faced with public, I don't even know what that word is, of his actions, basically public pressure for his actions, President Trump ultimately released the military and security assistance to the government of Ukraine, but has persisted in openly and corruptly urging or soliciting Ukraine to undertake investigations for his personal political belief. These actions were consistent with the President Trump's previous invitations of foreign interference in the United States elections. Okay, again, there's no proof that he interfered with any elections, President Trump or anybody that he is associated with. If anything, they all go to the opposite, that he didn't and everybody else did. First of all. Second of all, the fact that he's investigating something that just happens to go against his opponent, that's a byproduct. If wrongdoing is done, it doesn't matter who did it, it needs to be investigated. The fact that they're trying to connect this to, it's because Joe Biden is going to beat him in the election. No, Joe Biden's not. Joe Biden's weird. He sniffs kids. He sniffs people. He touches people. He's just a weird old guy nobody's going to vote for. And it's going to show in all these debates and stuff. He's a fucking idiot. However, the fact that they're connected has nothing to do with the next election. I don't honestly believe that President Trump is worried about this next election. I think he knows he's going to be reelected, or he thinks he's going to be reelected. I would tend to agree based on the people that I've seen go against him. I don't want any of those other people in the Democratic ticket going against to be president. Just like Obama's second term. I didn't like Obama. I didn't like President Obama. I didn't think he was a good president. But come his second term, he was running against morons. So I went with the devil I know versus the devil I don't. Same here. Whether you like President Trump or not, I don't care. He's producing. He's fulfilling campaign promises. He's doing things no other president has done. Our country is back in the world power. We're back on top. And if you don't like that, you're fucking un-American. But back to this impeachment. All right. The fact, like I said, the fact that this impeachment, the fact that this part of the article has nothing to do with him, who his opponent is, it has everything to do with where this investigation is leading. And it leads to former Vice President Biden. That's a byproduct. Does it benefit President Trump? Absolutely, in his reelection. However, that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was to get to the bottom of all this. They don't want you to do that. Second. All right. So the second article of impeachment, obstruction of Congress. Article 1, directing the White House to defy a lawful subpoena by withholding the production of documents sought thereon by the committees. So here's the deal. The House can't just make a committee and then access classified documents, whatever documents they want. They can't do it. There's a reason there's classifications on these things for national security reasons. So yes, as the president, hey, don't give them documents they're not authorized to see. That's not obstruction. That is doing your due diligence to make sure to protect this country as a freaking sitting president. Anyways, directing other executive branch agencies and offices to defy lawful subpoenas and withhold the production of documents and records from the committees in response to in which the Department of State, Office and Management, Budget, Department of Energy, Department of Defense refused to produce a single document of record. Again, then if that's the case, he directed him to do that. There's what's called a lawful order. You can't make somebody do something within the government, military or otherwise, that's unlawful. If I tell you to kill somebody, if I'm in the military and I tell you to kill somebody, you don't have to do it. These people didn't have to follow that order if it was illegal. The fact of the matter is, it just wasn't. Probably because what they were asking for had nothing to do with anything. It was a, let's see what we can find type. It's an exploration is what this ended up being. And when they didn't turn over the documents, what are you going to do? You have to hold all these people in contempt. But they're not going to do that because you have to find evidence for a reason of contempt. But there's no charges. These charges are bullshit. And there's no evidence that I've seen that they presented against the president that would even hold up in a freaking juvenile court, let alone the Supreme Court. I'm not a lawyer, but I could get the president off of this. All right. And then the third one, directing current and former executive branch officials not to cooperate with the committees. In response to which 9 administrative officials defied subpoenas for testimony. These are grown people. The president can tell you all day, don't talk to them. But it's ultimately their choice. That's not obstruction. I mean, the ultimate is obstruction if there's a crime. But the fact of the matter is, if there's no crime, there's no obstruction. That's like me subpoenaing you to come talk to us about me not speeding. There's no crime. A subpoena isn't lawful. You can't make me talk about something that never happened, that was legal. we have rights. Hey, talk to my lawyer, right? That's what everybody does. As soon as they get into the interrogation room, I want my lawyer. Why? Because they'll use that shit against you. Everything you say, they'll use against you. And you don't want to deal with it. Not only that, he used his executive privilege to protect classified documents again, and most importantly, classified conversations. See, that's part of the executive privilege. Some conversations are classified that aren't suitable for the public ears. Some of these with these people are classified through executive privilege. That's not illegal for the president to do. He can use that executive privilege to protect national security. It is that simple. There's no conspiracy. I'm sorry. He's just doing his job to the best of his ability. Get over it. And it says these actions were consistent with President Trump's previous efforts to undermine United States government investigations into foreign interference in the United States elections. Again, the precipice of all this is predicated on the falsities that the president had anything to do with with the elections in interference. A 3-year investigation proves he had nothing to do with it. So I don't even understand why this even came up. How it got past the House, I don't know. And if you voted for some people that are in the House that voted for this, that went for this impeachment, and you don't do your due diligence to get them out of that position, it's your fault. You're the problem. And I know there's people out there that think, oh yeah, we got him. And they didn't. This is all BS. There's nothing here that presidents have done much worse than had conversations with a foreign government talking about, hey, you need to investigate something. That's not using if I investigate all that stuff, oh man, there wouldn't be every president would be impeached. The fact of the matter is they don't like him. And I'm going to talk about that coming up right after this commercial.
Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is only made possible by you, the listener. So thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
All right, sorry, I just had to plug myself a little bit. Hey, hit the subscribe button there at YouTube. Hit the bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're listening on Buzzsprout or Apple Music or podcasts, let me know that you're listening. Keep the downloads coming in. I just want to say thank you very much. So moving on. I'm going to try to close this out. I don't want to make an extremely long video. You've been dealing with this damn impeachment for too long now. So I want to close it out. We're going to close it out with after I'm done with closing out what I have to say about that, we're going to get my plug of the week, and then I'm going to do my rant of the week, which is along the same line to this, okay? All right. The reason they're going after the president, most of you already know this. I'm going to blow your mind with something new. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about this. This sitting president, President Trump, isn't a politician. And he is challenging the status quo on how things have been done for the last 50 years. The fact of the matter is, politicians have been able to campaign and make promises and all these things that they've never had to keep because nobody's ever held them accountable. Like, oh, he said he was going to do that. Oh, just another politician. The president isn't that. The president made promises. The president is keeping those promises. He's changing the way we do things as a politician. So the people like Pelosi and Schumer and all these idiots that have been in office forever, they hate it. Oh my God, now I have to do what I said I was going to do? Now I actually have to work? This is BS. We got to get him out of here or he's going to change he's going to change our way of life and we're going to actually have to do stuff. Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for cleaning out the swamp, draining the swamp, as you used to say. Now to get elected and to stay elected, moving forward, at least in my opinion, you're going to have to do what you told me you were going to do. Or at least move the needle in that direction. And if you don't, it's time for you to go. And that goes against every politician. The fact that everybody wants him gone, every career politician wants him gone, tells me he's doing the right things. He's doing exactly what we needed him to do because our government was becoming too corrupt. He can't be bought. He can't be talked out of stuff. He does exactly what he wants to do. And you can say whatever you want about the president. You can say he has done, he said this back 10 years ago, or he said this, or he did this. Okay, here's the deal. Thank God they can't. Not everything I've ever said in my life has been recorded. Because if so, everybody would hate me. I mean, and that goes to you too. Every listener out there has said things in their past that if they were brought to light now, crazy. You'd be looked at differently. So it's a glass house throwing stones. Calm down, glass house. You're not perfect. You said some things, right? Kevin Hart just went through it just a while ago. I was just talking to guys at the gym. Kevin Hart just went through it. Kevin Hart is one of the nicest people in the world, but he told some jokes about some gay people, about his son being gay 6-7 years ago. And now they're bringing it up. Oh, he's against gays and gay rights and all this other blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm here to tell you, like he said, I'm a different person now than I was then. I'm not going to apologize for who I was then because that's who I was then. Same with the president. He was a different person then than he is now. Move on. It's time. But what he's doing is the right things. I'm glad he's draining the swamp. I'm glad he's pissing off politicians because politicians have been screwing this country for years, and he's actually screwing back. And I love it. All right. Right after this plug of the week, I'm going to get into my rant of the week. All right. Thanks for listening. Like shooting guns and blowing shit up. Get a hold of Bayou Gunslingers out of Denham, Louisiana. They have everything you need from handguns to rifles to suppressors. I don't know about you, but the sweet sound of silence and the smell of gunpowder in the morning makes for a great day. So go to www.bayougunslingers.com. That's www.bayougunslingers.com. Or if you're around the Denham Springs area, stop by, and I promise you, they'll take care of you. All right, welcome back. So my rant of the week this week, I put a lot of thought into this, actually, believe it or not. No, I didn't, actually. This is just something that pisses me off on a daily basis. Every time I turn on the news, every time I talk about this impeachment, every single time I turn around and talk about politics, this comes up. Identity politics drives me insane. If your decisions are made on anything other than what you believe, can prove or know, you're an idiot. If you think, and it goes Republican, Democrat, I don't care what it is, I don't care what party you go with, here's the deal. If you think everything President Trump has ever said or done is right based on the fact that he's a Republican, you're an idiot. And if you think that you're against President Trump or any other sitting seat because of their affiliation to Democrat or Republican, you're an idiot. Think for yourselves. I am tired of somebody saying, well, I don't like the president. Why? Well, because I'm a Democrat. The fuck's that got to do with the price of tea in China? A Democrat? So that means you can't think for yourself? That means you have to follow the party line? That's retarded. And it goes, and this is why. State of the Union address. I didn't watch the whole thing. It drives me crazy. I hate politics. And here I am talking about it. But here there's a scholarship given out. If you watch it, there's a scholarship given out to this young black girl. Now, the president gave her the scholarship for minorities, whatever. But the president gave out the scholarship. The Democrats didn't clap. Here's my problem with it. They didn't clap because it came from the president. He's a Republican and they're Democrats. That's retarded. That little girl busted her ass to earn that scholarship. She deserved it. She earned it. You should celebrate that. Because that little girl deserves that support. Because who knows, she might be the first black female president. You don't know. But you just sit there and didn't clap smug on your face just because the president did it? Are you fucking kidding me? You're the lowest form of human being if you don't celebrate a child, regardless of race, regardless of religion, that is making a difference, that is making their life better. It makes me sick. Based on party lines? Get out of here. And if you do this, get off my channel. I don't care. I want to talk to people. I want to interact with people that are free thinkers. The president does something messed up, tell me. I will agree with you. It's messed up. If he does something good, I'm going to tell you he did something good. Along with everybody else. Nobody's perfect. But I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call every politician if you do something messed up. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to hold our government offices accountable for the things they do good and the things they do bad. But if you make those decisions based on party lines, you're the problem. You are what is destroying this country. And trust me, I don't want nothing to do with you. And I'm sure a lot of people don't either. Either way, that's it. That's all I have to say for today. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell icon. Tell your friends. Click on my website. Click on my Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. All right. Thanks for listening. I'm out.
Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is only made possible by you, the listener. So thank you for your support.